Hello and welcome to the 2022 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship first and second round practice day press conference. A few reminders before we get started. Please silence your cell phones and flash photography is not permitted. This press conference will be conducted in person and over Zoom. We will take questions in person first and then go to the Zoom. For those in the room, please raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you. Please also state your name and outlet before asking the questions. We will begin with an opening statement from Tennessee head coach Kellie Harper and then take questions for the student athletes. Once that is done, we'll dismiss the student athletes and then take questions for coach. We are joined today by Tennessee head coach Kellie Harper and student athletes Tamari Key and Jordan Walker. Coach, take it away.
Well, thank you. We're really excited that games are being played tomorrow. We've had some really good practices since the SEC tournament. We've had some good time off to rest and recover. The players have had great attitude. They've had great mindset. They've practiced really hard and given us a lot of effort. We know this is an exciting time, but we also know it's a challenging time. If you're in the NCAA tournament, you're a team that has wins. You've either won your tournament or you've proved throughout the year that that you can win games at an elite level. So this is going to be a huge challenge for us on Saturday as Buffalo comes in, but we're really looking forward to it.
Questions for the student athletes?
Hey, you guys both can answer this. Madison Hawk with WBIR. Just what's it like hosting the NCAA tournament first and second rounds for the first time since 2018?
I think for me it's really exciting, just considering our freshman year we weren't able to participate in the tournament, and then sophomore year it all being in one location. So this year, my junior year, being able to really experience what it's like, as well as being able to host, is really exciting.
Yeah, I would also go off of what TK said. It's just exciting, this being my second NCAA tournament, and seeing last year with the COVID how that was, and still it was a great experience. And then this year, just being able to host and be at home and have our home crowd is an amazing experience as well.
Rick Russo, WVLT TV. For both ladies, how has the adversity of this season, losing a couple key players, helped prepare you think, for this NCAA tournament run?
I think for us, we've faced adversity all season, and I think we've only proved to each other and to everybody else that we can push through. And we had a lot of people step up, and we fight and we're tough, and I feel like that shows a lot of grit within our team.
Yes, definitely. And like TK said, we're tough, and we're able to step up and pick each other up, and not only for ourselves, but for the girls next to us. Every single night we go out there and we fight for each other, and I think that that's the best part about this team, and it's just so genuine. So like Coach Kelly said, the tough teams win in March, and I feel like that has prepared us, for where we are right now.
Rachel Lindsay from the Buffalo News. This question's for Jordan or Tamari. How would you describe this year's Tennessee basketball team to people who maybe in Buffalo haven't watched your program but haven't gotten the opportunity to?
You're saying and based off Buffalo's team and fans coming in to play us?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Tennessee is just the name Tennessee, and the Lady Vol program kind of speaks for itself. And I feel like this season, kind of going off of what JoJo said, is that we work hard and we play for each other. So I feel like if we had to describe the team to them with just those simple terms, is that we're tough and we play for each other, and we just bring a lot of effort.
Yeah, I would not cap it at that, but TK really has summarized it right there for us.
Cora Hall, the Knoxville News Sentinel. Kellie told us after Kentucky she had told you guys about the time that her team had lost in the semifinal and then went on to win the championship. What was that like to hear from you guys, from Kellie, who had been exactly where you were, and how did you guys, both of you, kind of internalize that challenge?
Just to hear that, from a coach who has been, like you said, where we were at and won a national championship, it's really encouraging because it's true. We had almost 2 weeks to get ourselves together and just to get better. And I really feel like over these 2 weeks, we got better every single day. And so just to see that, it's just really encouraging. Personally, the way I took it is just trying to get better every single day, figuring out the little things that I could do to help my team.
I think it's special because a lot of players don't have coaches that have won, many national championships, and considering how many times in a row. So I think for us that is just big, knowing that she's been there and she knows what it's like and she knows what it needs to look like and the work that needs to go in behind the scenes to be able to achieve that.
Jimmy Himes with the Sports Animal. Tamari, what makes you such a good shot blocker?
I think just being able to time. I've gotten asked this question before, and I answered with not fouling. I think that keeps me in the game, and being able to just contest the shots even if I can't block it.
For other player, Tyler Wombles with the Daily Times. Obviously, with that regular season finale against LSU, it wasn't a sure thing that you get to host the NCAAs here. Is that something that you guys talked about, just how special that opportunity is, and maybe especially after that game to get to come back out here?
Yeah, we definitely talked about it within our team, but we knew that just going to the SEC tournament and trying to take care of business and continuing to show like how we are as a team and how competitive we are, we knew it would take care of itself.
What do you know about Buffalo, Jordan or Tamari? What have you seen from them on film? What you've been able to watch so far?
They are a good team and they move well on offense. They have some good guards, some good post presence. So all around, just a tough team, and we're looking forward to playing them.
Yeah, I used to play against them all the time at Western. So just seeing them now, it's a pretty similar team. They have good guards, good inside play. So I think that it'll be a good challenge for us, and Buffalo is a good team.
This question's for Tamari. Obviously, Jordan, came from mid-major, so did Kean Green, and so did Alexis, who you kind of serves as a reminder that mid-majors shouldn't be underestimated because Troy almost upset Texas A&M last year. How has that kind of maybe served as an extra reminder to you guys these couple weeks preparing for Buffalo?
Well, I think for us it's March now, and teams really step up. I mean, people don't want their seasons to end; they don't want to go home. So I feel like it just brings a different, umph to teams and players. So you can't overlook anybody. I mean, you start the game 0-0, no matter if it's a mid-major or if it's a 1 or 2 seed. So I think for us, we're just going in to give it our all tomorrow.
Teresa Walker, the Associated Press, for both Jordan and Tamari. You were in the bubble last year. Have you had a chance to look at the swag bags this year? And if you have, how different is that from last year? And the fact that you get to be here on campus to play rather than in the sterile bubble, how much difference might that be this weekend?
I haven't had a chance to look at the swag bags yet, but I'm sure that after last year and just taking some feedback that they'll be amazing. I think that the swag bags last year were pretty good as well, so I really can't complain, but yeah.
I think for us, playing at home is just really special. We'll be able to play in front of our home crowd. So I think, honestly, that's the best part about it, just knowing that they're going to show up and show out for us these first 2 rounds.
This is for both of you guys. You guys had the Girl Scouts at your practice this week, and it's kind of been a fun development out of just a kind of a random question. What was it like to have them there and to kind of have that reminder that there's so many young girls in this community that look up to you guys?
It was amazing, and not only because we got some cookies, but it was just a really good time just to see them. And it's just really special when you look at it and you're like, wow, like I was in their shoes, one day looking up at girls just doing something that I wanted to do. So just to be able to give back to them and give pointers and time and smiles and stuff like that, it's just priceless.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you, Tamari and Jordan. You two are dismissed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And now we'll take questions for Tennessee head coach Kellie Harper.
Hey, Kelly. Tim Owens from WATE. Jordan Horston, is she going to be available on Saturday?
No, Jordan's not available on Saturday.
How much has she been able to do at practice at this point?
She's still doing a lot of rehab and, doing conditioning. And because it is her left elbow, she can do some shooting, but she's not in practice at this point.
Coach, you said following the SEC tournament that you have a unique situation where you can just practice and get ready for the NCAA tournament for about 2 weeks. So what were some areas that you really honed in on in practice the last 2 weeks?
I tell you what, the first 2 practices back were the toughest practices we've had probably since the fall semester. I mean, we really got after them, and it was fun. Well, I thought it was fun. You know, we worked a lot on our defense. You know, trying to get technically correct with our box outs. We worked on our toughness, our offensive execution, our transition game. So we were able to get a lot of work with the basics, but then also really challenge them to be as good as they could possibly be. So I think, you know, I can't have probably scripted it better in terms of what we were looking for in the last couple of weeks. We were able to get good time off, but we were able to really practice hard. You know, sometimes when you get to late January, February, and you're in the SEC, you loosen up a little bit on what you're doing sometimes in practice because the games are coming so quick. So this was a great opportunity for us to really get after it on the court, and love the mindset, love the attitude, and love the effort.
Jimmy Hahn, sports analyst. Kellie, would you talk a little bit about Buffalo? What do you see out of them? What impresses you most?
Well, you get to talk about, if you're talking about Buffalo, I think the first thing you're going to talk about is fair. I mean, this guard can put up big numbers against anybody, and you know, she is a go-to. She is a dynamic kid that can put the team on her back and carry them. So she's going to be a handful for us to slow down. Then they have other really good players that just do their job, you know. Woolley, Hemphill, they've got players that can score, they've got players that can rebound, and their entire team can defend. They're really tough defensively. They change up their defenses a lot. You know, they're coming in ranked number 1 in their league on offensive boards. They're really good in transition, and a lot of that is the creativity that Fair brings. So there's a challenge for us on both ends of the court.
Coach, obviously with basketball being a tournament sport, you can learn some stuff about your team in the postseason maybe you didn't know in the regular season. Have you learned anything about your team through the SEC tournament and then where they are heading into now?
Well, I was really proud of them coming out of the SEC tournament and what their outlook was and how they have really responded to our staff pushing them. And you know, they're a tough group. They want to win. They're competitive. That doesn't guarantee wins. But, well, that sure makes my job a lot of fun, you know, to have a group that's going to give you everything they've got. And, you know, I get it. We're not perfect. We'll make mistakes, but we'll fight through and we'll play for each other.
Kellie, you've got some players who this is their last go-around, and you were in that position yourself. How do you kind of balance that maybe sense of urgency that this is their last chance, but also still enjoying it and having fun?
Yeah, you know, every year at some point I think about at any moment, this is, you know, person X's last game. But I don't let myself go there because you don't know when that moment's going to happen. And I don't know that I've ever been ready for it, regardless of whether we were playing and finished in the tournament, conference tournament, or finished at the Sweet 16. So you just don't. It's hard to prepare for it because you're so excited about the moment and what you're doing, and then the possibilities, and the ending, whenever that comes, is so abrupt, and it is hard to swallow. So I don't really think about it until I actually absolutely have to.
Kellie, playing the games here at Thompson Bowling, what are you expecting from the great Lady Vol fans this weekend?
Oh, I think our fans are going to be here. They're going to be excited. They'll be loud. You know, they're looking forward to some good basketball. You know, 4 talented teams here, and it should be a lot of fun. You know, the one thing that you know you're going to get is a great environment when you walk into Thompson Bowling Arena. So I know we're looking forward to it, and hope our guests are as well.
Coach, obviously when you're playing through a bracket, it's a little bit different than the regular season where you know sort of what your scheduled opponents are. You can sort of predict, but it's not always the same. How does that change your approach as a coaching staff to when, you know, you don't know exactly who you're going to play, or you only find out a few days before?
Yeah, so what we do in any tournament situation, whether that's a regular season tournament, whether it's a postseason tournament, either conference or NCAA, we go ahead and assign scouting reports to our assistant coaches, and I work one at a time. I do not look ahead. So the only team that I have looked at thus far is Buffalo. That is the only team I'm going to look at because that is what matters. If you don't pass that test, you don't get to move on. So that's the priority for us.
Coach, your first time hosting the NCAA tournament as a head coach at Tennessee, but obviously there's just such a unique buzz, and this tournament is so special. As a former player, what do you remember? What's maybe one of your favorite moments of playing in March Madness, besides maybe the obvious?
Yeah, so let me tell you, my freshman year, they didn't tell me all the rules were going to be different, and so I remember being the person that I was, I just zipped out on the court, grabbed the ball, and started shooting, and then it started the clock, and half of the team was not ready. They were probably half of them in the locker room, and I remember the coaches weren't real happy with me, but I was thinking, maybe they should have told me. So every year I make sure to tell our team, do not pick up the basketball until we are ready to go, because I learned the hard way. For whatever reason, that memory is going to stick out forever. And I remember the vibe, the environment, the curtains. I remember the curtains. There's so many curtains with the NCAA. They used to be royal blue, now they're black. It always looks really nice. The signage looks nice. It's really special to be able to play at home. The only player on our team that has played in the NCAA tournament here in Knoxville is Kean Green. And she was at Liberty when she did it. So this is a new experience for all of us.
Kellie, I'm sure you've been asked this before. I'm Rachel Lindsay from the Buffalo News, by the way. You played for Pat Summitt. A lot of people in Buffalo are familiar with Tennessee basketball as a whole, but what is it like for you to really, carry on her legacy as coach of this program into another NCAA tournament?
Well, that's a loaded question. It's a lot. I think being a former player here, I have a lot of love and passion for this program, and I've always wanted this program to succeed, and I've always pulled for the Lady Vols, regardless of where I was. Obviously I think there's a big responsibility that I have and that our program has to a lot of different things, to Pat's legacy, for sure, to this community, to our conference. And I'll be honest with you, I think we have a responsibility to women's basketball, because I think when Tennessee is good, I think women's basketball is better.
Kellie, one of the players from SEC tournament that kind of stood out was Kaya Wynn. You're really coming along as a defender and a contributor on offense. What have you seen from her these last couple of weeks that make you think she's going to be really important down the stretch for you guys?
Yeah, I think we're going to need Kaya to come in and give us great minutes, and we need that on both ends of the court. She's played with great energy. I think she's playing with a lot of confidence right now. She has the ability to handle the ball. She's pretty careful with it. She can get to the basket. Defensively, she's quick, she's physical, and she can rebound. We're going to need those things from her. And I think she had good practices this week to kind of carry over from the SEC tournament.
Kellie, you mentioned that responsibility to women's basketball. In trying to grow the game and trying to get to that point of neutral sites, how close do you think women's basketball might be? And then secondly, on the other side, though, how nice is it to be at home this weekend with that supportive fan base that this team has?
Yeah, I think we've got, as women's basketball, we kind of got to reevaluate. 2 years ago we weren't playing. Last year one side. Back to home side, I think we've got to sit back and look and see where we're at. I think there'll be a lot of evaluation done after this tournament. I'm proud of our team for earning the opportunity to host. First and foremost, I'm really proud of our team. I think, our body of work throughout the year gave us this opportunity. And I'm thrilled that we get to continue to play in this environment, because it's one of the best for women's basketball across the country. And, I think that is good. I think it's good to play in this environment, and hopefully it's great for our fans and not just our fans, but for women's basketball fans. You can come here and see 4 really good teams. And I think our community here can really embrace not just the Lady Vols, but basketball, good basketball, and that's exciting.
Coach, you mentioned the 4 teams that are playing here for the first and second rounds, and Belmont being an in-state school. Have you had a chance to talk to Coach Bart Brooks or have any relationship with Belmont?
Honestly, I have not. I've not been able to talk to him. I think it's neat for us to be able to host another in-state team, and I'm sure they'll bring a pretty good fan base over here as well.
Any more questions for Coach? Okay, thank you, Coach, for joining us.
All right, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you all for joining us for this first press conference day on practice day. We'll be back at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Time with Oregon. Okay, thank you.